Welcome to the second part of the video on accommodation bill. Before you proceed, check out the first part and the link is available in the description below. Now, the second sum says for the mutual accommodation of X and Y on 1st April 2016, X drew a 4 months bill on Y for 4,000. Y returned the bill after acceptance of the same date. X discounts the bill from his bankers at 6% per annum and remits 50% of the proceeds to Y. On the due date, X is unable to send the amount due to Y and therefore Y draws a bill for 7,000, which is duly accepted by X. Y discounts the bill for 6,600 and sends 1,300 to X. Before the bill is due for payment, X becomes insolvent. Later, 25 paise in a rupee received from his estate. Record journal entries in the books of X. Let's understand the second question with the help of flowchart. So, X drew a bill on Y for 4,000. He drew a bill for 4,000 and it's a 4-month bill. 4-month bill for 4,000. Now, Y returned the bill after acceptance on the same date. So, Y has accepted the bill. So, for X, it's going to be bills receivable, and for Y, it's going to be bills payable. And it's a accommodation bill. Now, X discounts the bill from his bankers at 6% per annum and remits 50% of the proceeds to Y. So, what X does is that he meets the bank and he discounts the bill. He discounts the bill of 4,000 for 6%, and as it's given per annum, you'll have to take for 4 months, which is 4 by 12. This gives you 80. So the discount which is charged by the bank is 80 rupees. So X receives 3,920 after discounting it from the bank. Now X remits 50% of the proceeds to Y. So from the bill which is discounted by X from the bank, he remits 50% of the proceeds. So as we all know, when he remits some amount to Y, he remits a discounted amount and he remits also the discount. So Y should also bear the discount. So the half of 3,920 is 1,960 and the half of the discount, which is 80, is 40. So X remits 2,000 and in that 2,000 Y bears the 40 rupees as discount. On due date, X is unable to send the amount due and therefore Y draws a bill for 7,000. So on due date, what happens is that X is not able to pay the remaining amount to Y, and this also means that Y has honored the bill. So Y has honored the bill. Y has paid the amount of 4,000 to the bank, but X is unable to pay the remaining half of the payment, which is 2,000. X has to pay Y 2,000, which he couldn't. Now what happens is that Y draws a bill for 7,000, which is accepted by X. So here Y and X and this the third party bank. So this is for the second bill. The second bill, what happens is that Y draws a bill for 7,000 on X. So Y's bills receivable here and X's bills payable, and he draws a bill of 7,000, which is accepted by X, and Y discounts the bill for 6,600 and sends 1,300 to X. So before we head into the point, in the first bill which we saw there was X had to pay Y the sum of 2,000. X had to pay Y the sum of 2,000. So for that, Y drew a bill on X for 7,000, and now Y discounts the bill for 6,600 from the bank. So here Y discounts the bill for 6,600. The bill is for 7,000 and it discounts it for 6,600. So 400 rupees will be the discount which the bank received. And now Y sends 1,300 to X. So Y remitted some amount to X. So as we all know, when Y remits to X, he remits the amount which he discounted from the bank and also the discount. But the thing is that you cannot find the discount amount over here. So there's a small formula which has to be applied. Whenever we have to find the discount which has to be remitted to another party for the second bill, we always have to use this formula. So this formula says discount for second bill equals to discount in the current bill divided by net amount after discount into amount already due plus amount transferred in current balance. So here what happens is discount in current bill. This means the discount which Y received in the current bill, which is the second bill, from the bank, and he receives a discount of 400 divided by net amount after discount. The net amount after discount which Y receives is 6,600. This into amount already due. So the amount already due by X in the first bill was 2,000. And I'm explaining again. So in the first bill, what happens is that X drew a bill on Y for 4,000 and he remits 2,000 to Y. So the remaining amount of 2,000 X has to remit to Y. So here 2,000 is the amount already due plus the amount transferred in current balance. So the amount which Y sends to X is 1,300. So we have to add it 1,300. So this will give you 200 rupees. This will give you 200 rupees, which is the discount amount. So Y remits 1,300 to X plus the 200, because whenever you remit the amount to the other party in the accommodation bill, you have to remit the discounted amount with the discount. So X bears the discount of 200. So Y totally remits the amount of 1,500 to X. Now they have said is that before the bill is due for payment, X becomes insolvent. Later 25 paisa in a rupee from his estate was received. So as X is insolvent now, he wouldn't be able to pay the amount of Y to the bank. So this means that X has dishonored the bill. So the amount of 7,000 which X has to pay Y as bills payable and has to remit that amount to bank has now dishonored the bill. So a very important question arises here is that due to insolvency now, X has to pay some amount to Y, and what will be that amount? So listen very carefully. There's a very easy way to find that amount. So now we have to just find what amount X should remit to Y and settle his account. So in the first bill, if you notice, X has to pay Y a sum of 2,000 rupees. So X drew a bill on Y for 4,000 and X remitted 2,000 to Y. So the remaining 2,000 X has to pay Y. And in the second bill, Y has remitted 1,500 rupees to X. It's very important. You won't take the amount 1,300 because even the discount has to be backed by X. So Y has remitted 1,500 to X. So now X is liable to pay Y the 1,500 too. So because now here Y has remitted the amount to X and it was X's duty to honor the bill, but he dishonored. So the amount which y paid to x, x has to repay the same amount to y. So now x is liable to pay y 1500, and in the first bill x was liable to pay 2000. So the total which x has to pay y is 3500. And in the question they say that x becomes insolvent and 25 paise in a rupee was received from his estate. So in this 3500, only 25 paise were received, which is divided by 4, and the amount which will come here was received by y, and the rest will be bad debts. So let's pass the entries in the books of x. X has drawn a 4-month bill on y for 4000. So the entry would be simple. It would be bills receivable account debit to y, because here x has drawn a bill receivable, so asset increases and you debit it, and y, in this case y would be your creditor. This is very important to know because you have to pay him the amount back, so y will be your creditor, and as your creditor increases you credit it, and the amount would be 4000. Now x has discounted the bill from the bank at 6%. So when x has discounted the bill, he receives some amount which you will debit it as bank. So here bank account debit, and he also bears a discount. So discount allowed account debit to bills receivable. As here your asset decreases, you credit it, and the bills receivable will be 4000, and the amount which he got from the bank after discounted will be 3920, and he bears a discount of 80. You can check the calculation in the flowchart. After x discounts the bill from the bank, he proceeds 50% of the amount to y. So what he does is that he proceeds the 50% amount to y, so the entry would be y account debit. We are putting y account debit because y was a creditor, as we saw, and now our creditor has decreased, so we debit it, and we paid him cash, and the rest would be discount which we received. So we are supposed to pay y 2000, 50% of 4000, which is 2000, and we paid him by cash 1960, and the rest is a discount which y bears is 40. Then x is unable to send the amount to y, and therefore y draws a bill for 7000. So here what happens is that we are not able to send the amount, but y honors the bill to the bank. So there will be no entry for this, as y has honored the bill and it will be affecting his books. Then y drew a bill on x for 7000. So we will be bills payable over here. So it's going to be y account debit to bills payable account, and he drew a bill for 7000. Now what happens is y discounts his bill from the bank, so there would be no entry for this because it doesn't affect x's book, and he remits 1300 to x. So in the books of x is going to receive 1300 as cash. So we're going to put cash account debit. As our asset increases, we debit it, and the amount is going to be 1300, and x is going to bear some discount of 200. This 200 we saw in the formula. So x is going to bear the discount of 200, and y is going to pay us. So y pays us 1500. In that 200 rupees is the discount. After y remits the amount to x becomes insolvent. So when X becomes insolvent, he wouldn't be able to pay the bill. So here the bill gets dishonored. So while putting the entry for bills payable accepted, we put it as Y to bills payable. So as dishonored, we'll be putting the opposite entry to cancel both, which should be bills payable account debit to Y account. And the amount would be 7,000. So later on, they say that 25% rupee was received by Y from X's estate. So we are paying Y now for the remaining amount, which is 3,500, which we found in the flowchart. So the entry for that would be Y account debit. We are doing is Y account debit because Y was a creditor and now we have paid the creditor back, so a creditor decreases. So Y account debit to cash account, and the rest would be to deficiency. So we are supposed to pay Y how much? 3,500, and we only could pay him 25 paise in a rupee. So we could only pay him 3,000 divided by 4, which is 875, and the balance would be 2,625, which is the deficiency. So thank you so much guys for watching this video, and part 3 will be up soon.